Indian culture from 10,000 BC till today. Origin of Indian culture. Professor K. A. Neelkant Shastri defines culture as the total accumulation of material objects, ideas, symbols, beliefs, sentiments, values and social forms which are passed on from one generation to another in any given society. Tracing Indian history is extremely difficult because when Indian people appear on the horizon of the world history, they have already acquired a developed form of material culture. A study of Rig Veda, the first recorded history of mankind, gives us the picture of a people who have advanced agriculture, handicrafts and village organization patterns. They also exhibit a good deal of the love of life, poetry, art, literature and war. If we accept the viewpoint of several eminent historians that the history of the Indus Valley civilization is the pre-Rig Vedic, even so that civilization appears as a highly sophisticated urban and rural cultures. This only points to a state of social evolution long past the primitive stage and poised for a mighty advance on the plane of mind and thought. This mental evolution gradually evolved into a spiritual outlook which became the dominant characteristics of Indian culture. The Saraswati civilization. The legendary river Saraswati originated from the glaciers of Himalayas, flowed between the Shivalik mountains and the holy place Adibadri 30 kilometers north of Jagadri. Satellite picture proves this theory. The glacier experts and atomic scientists have also supported this view. Before 5000 years, this river crossed the regions of Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab and Rajasthan at a distance of 1600 km. The flow direction of the river has again been discovered with the help of the satellite pictures. The Vedic civilization flourished on the banks of this river. Recently, archaeologists have undertaken excavations along the riverbed and have identified 2000 cities among 2600 old cities of India as those situated on the banks of the Saraswati river. Special features of Harappan civilization. The Harappans had excellently planned cities with architectural details and spacious streets. Earthen waste pipes carried sewage from each home into covered channels that led into nearby agricultural fields, rivers or streams. They used to conserve water by construction and systematic maintenance of giant reservoirs for water storage. Houses were constructed according to Vastu science, like doors facing the east with separate kitchen and toilet for every house. Each house had an indoor and outdoor kitchen. It seems that they were used according to the weather. The practice of yoga was in a womb. A coin excavated from Harappa shows a male figure seated in yogic posture. Vedas, the treasure house of India. Vedas are impersonal. Discovered by the sages of yore, they are the collection of universal truths applicable for all times. They have been intactly handed over from the teacher to the disciple through centuries orally. Thus, they are also called Shrutis. They are the most ancient scriptures of the world in record. Researchers place its time duration back to more. Astronomical facts discovered in ancient India. All celestial bodies are moving in elliptical orbits. The moon is a satellite of Earth and revolves around it, and the Earth revolves around the sun. The sun does never set nor rise. When people think the sun is setting, it is not so. For after having arrived at the end of the day, it makes itself produce two opposite effects, making night to what it's below and day to what is on the other side. Having reached the end of the night, it makes itself produce two opposite effects, making day to what is below and night to what is on the other side. In fact, the sun never sets. The scientific explanation of the eclipse of the sun and the moon. The results of these observations merely through naked eyes without the help of observatories are found to be correct even today. Precision up to 1/6 degree. It is noteworthy that these observations were documented systematically through many centuries. Vedic calendar. Ancient Indians created the Vedic calendar based on the Saptarishi Mandala through complex astronomical calculations. The first Indian calendar was prepared 10,000 years ago. Subtle astronomical facts were known to our ancestors. After years of careful observations, they came to the conclusion that Earth does not move on the same orbit every year. Its orbit shifts by a few seconds from the previous year's orbit. The shift is approximately 1 to the power 0. Thus, in approximately 75 years, Shankaranti shifts by a day. Swami Vivekananda was born on 12 January 1863 on the auspicious Makara Shankranti day. But now, when we are celebrating the 150th birth anniversary of Swamiji in 2013, this holy day falls on the 14th according to the Earth's subtle motion. This shifting also results in changing skies. Thus the picture of the sky never remains the same after 1000 years. Vedic calendar is impersonal. Calendars based on the birth of a personality, Vikramaditya, Jesus, etc., become unreliable when a doubt on the historicity of the persons arises. For example, if after about 3000 years people start doubting about Christ, the terms BC and AD will become meaningless. But it is not so in Indian Vedic calendar. It enables us to accurately calculate many incidents like the period of Mahabharata, death of Bhishma, or the birth of a great person. Architecture, chemistry and metallurgy. Temples of thousands of years like the Surya temple of Konark, Ajanta caves, Rameshwaram, Madurai, etc. are still standing. The Brigadeshwar temple Gopuram at Tanjavur is made up of a 81-ton stone at a height of 216 feet. Ancient Indians were experts in metal extractions like gold, iron, silver, copper, lead, tin and bronze. The iron pillar at Delhi near Qutub Minar stands rust-free, a marvel. Embossed or cast copper coins were issued by the Mauryan and other kings. Copper and bronze molds with filigree work are still found. Ancient Indians prepared sulfate from copper, zinc, iron and carbonates from lead and iron. They used blast furnace to forge metals and produced superior quality steel. Indian steel blades for weapons were preferred all over the world during the 1st century. The Ramayana. This epic describes many facts of astronomy. The time of this epic is not known, though it is generally believed that Ramayana happened during Treta Yuga. The name of sage Valmiki is found in the Taittiriya Brahmana of the Yajurveda. NASA pictures prove the existence of Ram Setu, the bridge built to Sri Lanka for Sri Rama by his devoted monkey force. Did Sri Rama exist? The scientists of NASA have published the satellite photo where a bridge is clearly seen between Dhanushkoti and Sri Lanka. Some stones are in display in the Panchamukha Hanuman temple, Tamil Nadu, which floated on water due to some chemical ingredients. The stones were brought from the Setubandhanam, the bridge between India and Sri Lanka. Did Sri Krishna exist? The Mahabharata. This grand epic was composed around 5500 BC. Modern archaeological findings have confirmed many of its descriptions. There are 140 archaeological references in this epic. The river Saraswati is declared as a monsoon-based river. This indicates the shift in the course of the river. The Ramayana had described its origin from the glaciers of the Himalayas. The river slowly ran out of its sources, and the civilizations that once flourished at its banks shifted to other fertile rivers like the Ganga and Yamuna, giving birth to modern Indian settlements. The discovery of the submerged city near modern Dwaraka and the seals and mudras described in the Mahabharata found in the excavations of this submerged city proves the claim that this land was once taken from the ocean and returned back to it after its purpose was served. Dwaraka. Dwaraka and Lothal are one of the oldest cities of the world. It is believed that before 5100 years, Sri Krishna transferred his capital from Mathura to Dwaraka. He had also informed his clan of the submerging of the city. Advanced war technology. Ancient Indians used many weapons of advanced technology. Various Indian texts and mythology describe many Divya Astras, divine weapons, which were possessed only by experts in warfare, gained with intense concentration and hard work. When they finally received these weapons for use, they were given strict instructions to use them only for the good of the society. Unfortunately, they were sometimes misused, but the situation was brought to control by the sages, ever cautious of global welfare. These weapons of power can be compared with the chemical and atomic weapons of the modern age. Some selections from the Mahabharata. A blazing shaft possessed of effulgence of a smokeless fire and lit it off on all sides, endued with fiery flames. Meteors flashed down, a thick gloom suddenly shrouded the host. All the points of the compass also were enveloped by the darkness. Inauspicious winds began to blow. The sun himself no longer gave any heat. The universe, scorched with heat, seemed to be in a fever. The very waters heated, the creatures residing in that element seemed to burn. From all the points of the compass, from the firmament of the very earth, showers of sharp and fierce arrows fell and issued with the impetuosity of the wind. The hostile warriors fell down like trees burnt down by a raging fire. Huge elephants burnt by that weapon fell down on the earth all around, uttering fierce cries loud as the rumblings of the clouds. The steeds, O king, and the cars also burnt by the energy of that weapon looked, O sire, like the tops of the trees burnt in a forest fire. Thousands of cars fell down on all sides. Indeed, O Bharata, it seemed that the divine Lord Agni burnt the host in that battle like the Samvarta fire consuming everything at the end of the Yuga. Burnt by the energy of Ashwatthama's weapon, the forms of the slain could not be distinguished. A full Akshauhini of the Pandava troops was killed. The army. During one of his visits to the NASA, Dr. Abdul Kalam was surprised to see a picture depicting a scene of the Anglo-Mysore War. In that picture, rockets were used against the British Army. On further enquiry, he was informed that Tipu Sultan used rockets in the war. Dr. Kalam is of the opinion that Tipu is the father of modern rocket. His rocket was the improvement of the ancient Agnyastra. After the war, the British dismantled his rocket and learnt the technology. Experts also suggest the origin of the rocket to Agnyastra described in the Mahabharata and Ramayana dating back to more than 7,000 years. A verse from Mahabharata describes this weapon as a single projectile charged with the power of universe, bright as 1,000 suns, verily a gigantic messenger of death, etc. Atomic concept. The sage Kanath in his Vaisheshika Sastra has discussed in detail about the atom and subatomic particles termed as Anu and Paramanu. Science in the Puranas. Multiple types of Vimanas, their construction, etc. Concept of stars like the sun with a speed of a light at 1,86,000 miles per hour. Declaration that the age of the earth at more than 4 billion years. Relativity of time. Impact of the moon's phases on tides. Instructions on how to make an electrical battery, how to split water into hydrogen and oxygen, etc. The concept of light. This ancient hymn of the sun proves that our ancestors knew that the 7 horses drawing the chariot of the sun represent the 7 colors of the sunlight. The day is created by the rays of the sun. The word R is derived from the root har and day from the term divas. Contributions in agriculture. Our ancestors knew the technique of discovering the source of underground water. Even in the modern times, scientists follow the method described by Varahamihira in the Brihat Samhita to dig tube wells in dry areas. During the Vedic period, many medicinal herbs and plants were used and classified according to their characteristics. Vedic Aryans were aware of photosynthesis. The Agni Purana describes in detail about agriculture, the various types of soil, collection and germination of seeds, grafting, rotation of various crops in the same soil to maximize production, etc. Contributions in mathematics. Even Einstein has agreed that without our contribution in developing the decimal number system, no scientific discovery could have ever been made. Creation of geometrical figures. Pythagoras came here to learn geometry, the concept of zero and infinity. Indians calculated quadratic equations and the value of pi more accurately. The methods of extracting square and cube roots of integral numbers is credited to Aryabhatta, who lived 1500 years ago. He is also known for his contributions to astronomy. Varahamihira was also known for his contributions to mathematics and astronomy. He lived 1400 years ago. In the Sitanaga Sutras, simple quadratic and cubic equations are given. Written documents are available dating back to 100 BC on Bija Ganita, modern algebra. Trigonometry evolved as an integral part of astronomy in India. Brahmagupta's treatise on infinity and Lilavati of Bhaskaracharya, composed 1000 years ago, stand proof for their mathematical genius. Chariots and their evolution into modern vehicles. Some terms of vehicles used by ancient Indians. Jalayan, a vehicle used in water. Khara, a vehicle used on ground. Triton, a 3-storied vehicle. Trichakra, a 3-wheeled flying vehicle. Vayu, a wind-powered vehicle. Vidyut, a powered vehicle. Medicine and surgery. Atharva Veda is the basis of Ayurveda. The physicians of Ayurveda could treat diseases like tuberculosis, jaundice, leukoderma and complex dental problems. Surgery. The physicians had a thorough knowledge of the human body. Records are found that the king of Bijou was operated for a tumor using anesthesia. Transplantation of artificial limbs. Some old books describe transplantation of eyeballs. Emperor Alexander depended more on Indian doctors for the treatment of his wounded soldiers. Education. Takshashila University. Takshashila is believed to be the oldest university in the world. Students used to come from many countries to study here. The university was famous for its production of paper. Earlier than 3000 years, the library of Takshashila used a special type of paper. Nalanda University. Nalanda University flourished 1500 years ago. This university is credited as the biggest known university of ancient times in which more than 10,000 students studied. Other notable contributions. Kautilya's Arthashastra, written 2400 years ago, is prized to be the first well-designed economic treatise. The world's first musical treatise, Chandas Shastras, was composed 2500 years ago by the sage Pingala. Ancient Indians knew how to produce electricity by chemical means. The first electric cell was made by sage Agastya 7500 years ago. Mahabharata, the largest literary work in the world, was written by sage Vyasa 5100 years ago. It has 1 lakh verses. It has the earliest treatise on political science and military science. Success list of modern India. Ramanujan is a wonder in mathematics even today. Jagadish Chandra Basu first discovered that plants have life and respond like us. Even under foreign rules, genius like Swami Vivekananda, Rishi Aravinda, poet Rabindranath Tagore, C.V. Raman were born. The world's biggest postal department is in India, 1,55,000. India holds the record of the world's biggest railway connection, 63,940. India has the largest factory in diamond production. Every year, maximum number of films are produced in India. Till now, India holds the first place in textile industry of the world. India stands first in the production of motorcycles, tea, sugarcane, cotton, jute, milk products, fruits, paddy and wheat. India has the largest democracy in the world. Indian Army is the third biggest army in the world. India stands fourth in the list of superpower nations. Influence of Indian culture in the words of Swami Vivekananda. Indian philosophy has influenced Christianity to a great extent. India has given to antiquity the earliest scientific physicians and has even contributed to modern medical science by the discovery of various chemicals and by teaching you how to reform misshapen earths and noses. Even more, it has done in mathematics. In philosophy, we are even now head and shoulders above any other nation. In music, India gave to the world her system of notation with the 7 cardinal notes and diatonic scale, all of which we enjoyed as early as 350 BC. In philology, our Sanskrit language is now universally acknowledged to be the foundation of all European languages. In literature, our epics and poems and dramas rank as high as those of any language. India has given to the world the fables of Aesop, which were copied by Aesop from an old Sanskrit book. It has given the Arabian Nights, yes, even the story of Cinderella and the bean stalks. In manufacture, India was the first to make cotton and purple. It was proficient in all works of jewellery, and the very word sugar as well as the article itself is the product of India. She has invented the game of chess and the cards and the dice.